Alright, this is my GoPro slider. Cost me about 40 bucks to make because I already had the battery. If you don't have the battery, it's going to cost you a little bit more because you'll have to buy the battery along with it because it doesn't come with a Ryobi caulking gun itself. So what I've done here is I've turned this little piece on the caulking gun around. I've used real steel putty so that I've made this piece larger so that it pushes up against the sled. If you don't do that, the track, this little metal rod that runs through, will move every once in a while. That'll mess your footage up. So I made this large enough so it's always pressing up against this, so it doesn't allow that bar to move at all. It stays straight because it's always being pressed against this metal piece. So you can adjust the speed. That's what I like about this. This was perfect because you could adjust the speed. So at its fastest speed, it'll take about 15 seconds or so to get to the end. If that's too fast for you, you can slow it all the way down. This will take about 3 minutes. And so you can set the time whatever you need. Real easy to make. All you need is some real steel putty, a GoPro extension here that'll turn it out to the side, and that's essentially it. Normally what I do is I take the battery out, I use some Velcro to hold the trigger down, and then I put the battery back in and set it down wherever I want. You want it set up against something close to the camera, so you want something in the foreground and something in the background. That'll make it look like the camera is actually moving. If you don't have something in the foreground, you're not going to get that visual feel that the camera is actually sliding to the side. So always put it up close to something, so that way it'll make it look like it's moving. Really cheap piece of equipment to make compared to the GoPro sliders or the camera sliders that you see on the internet. They're normally about $1,000. So this one costs about 40 bucks. If you don't have the battery, it's an additional 30, but still a lot cheaper than buying a slider, especially if you don't have experience building your own. You could probably build it cheaper, but it's a real good option for those people that don't have a lot of experience building their own equipment. Now you could add a lot of different stuff to this. You could add a stand here so that you could adjust the angle, but I found where I was filming at, it was in sand. You can adjust the camera up here so that way it's perfectly level when moving side to side. Real easy GoPro slider to make.